Spoke too soon, Your Majesty.
Oh, well, I did send him a message and say, hey, gonna start without you. All right. Well, it says that I'm live. All right, well, it actually looks like I'm streaming today. Exciting. Okay, so I am calling to order at 7:03. All right, well, it actually looks like and apparently I was also playing it on my phone. So I'm calling this meeting to order at 7:04 p.m. It is December 8th, 2020. All right, let us take attendance from top to bottom. Astral Winds.
I am here.
Ravenstone. If
I am present.
excellent.
Ish.
Moon. Oh, there.
There we go. Hi. Exhaustedly present, ma'am.
Frozen Coast.
Present.
Ice Fire Bay.
I'm here.
Nalarian, are you here?
Yes, via mobile, so it's touchy.
Sounds good. KPM, are you here?
Yes.
And I am here as well. Excellent. Earlier, it was posted to the chat that the meeting minutes from last time. Did everyone have a chance to review said meeting minutes, and do we have any changes?
Make a motion to approve the prior meeting's minutes.
I will second the motion.
Excellent. All right. The motion on the table is to approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting, top to bottom. Astral Winds.
Yes.
Ravenstone.
10-4. I mean, yes.
Lupin Moon.
Yes, ma'am.
Ice Fire Bay.
Right.
Yes.
KPM.
Yes.
All right, and I will vote yes and accept them as well. Excellent. Next on our agenda, it was brought to our attention that now that we are doing online voting and we cannot meet that, what if we had a contested regional champion and they can't fight? So we need to resolve that this evening. My suggestion, of course, was a riff-off. I'm all for that. However, I feel that if we do, we should put the regional champion on the ballot this time around, and so that if there is a contested, it would be voted on instead of a regional tournament. Does anyone have any other suggestions or any comments regarding that?
So I have concerns, maybe suggestions. Champions in the time of COVID look much different than champions that we had before. I would be interested in seeing people who ran for champion laying out precisely what their plan is to keep members engaged and active during COVID times, and how they plan to transition that if we are able to go outside during their reign. This is not the way that anybody wants to play Amp Guard, but specifically the champion role changes immensely. I guess I would want to see some sort of competence in the way that somebody plans to deal with having digital meetings.
So, are you essentially suggesting that we should should kind of do what Steph's saying and have an election for them?
I do agree with an election. Yes, I'm mostly rambling about how the position is very different now, and I guess that I would like to see what people's plans are. So yeah, nope, yeah, let's just do that
Make sure
Okay.
our field officers have a game plan.
for sure.
So yeah, and I think that would get what you're looking for, because then you could at least ask those questions. Because really, I think a champion prior could really put well, if you don't want me to be champion, well, come fight me. Where with an election, then you can kind of push them to give you their agenda and what they plan to do in the ring.
Gwen asked, doesn't it require an all thing? No, we've made several temporary changes based on COVID at this time, so it won't be going into the admin manual, and it's not a permanent change. This is just a temporary fix until we can get back to, I'm going to put it in air quotes, normal.
I believe just a vote for regional champion would be the easiest way to go right now, with no viable way to have the tournament duel or champion duel.
Look, listen, we make them enter short role play stories, and then they have a role play battle. There we go.
Or we have them build a character to fit that D&D and have a fight. No magic items, just fight.
Nah, that's too much RNG.
So the question I'd have is, would we require an election for a champion if it's a non-contested champion?
I would say yes, because I mean, we require an election for non-contested other positions. So this is just going to temporarily align them with all the other positions.
Well, sure, but we don't require a tournament for a champion that's not contested.
So in the times of COVID, we just implement a voting process for uncontested champion spots. Honestly, I think that's the easiest way we're going to be able to do it.
Did you say just for contested, Sean?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely fine with it just being like we would treat any other position that normally gets elected. For right now, it's not a permanent solution. It is unprecedented, but we live in unprecedented times right now. So yeah, I would say vote for uncontested, because that no confidence guy can still run.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay, so then I make a motion to vote. This vote would be for a temporary change to how we handle contested regional champion elections only. If a regional champion election is contested, they will be voted upon like the other positions. If
I will
it's
second the motion.
if it's uncontested, then there will be no vote.
I will second that motion.
Okie dokie. Well, let us vote top to bottom. Astral wins.
Yes.
Ravenstone,
And Vorp.
Lupin win.
Sure.
Frozen Coast. Frozen Coast.
Sorry, Your Majesty, trying to read Rose Death's comment. Okay. Yes.
Ice Fire Ray.
Yes.
KPM.
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. All right, that has passed. So we'll let it be known that if your regional champion goes contested, we will do it as a vote. All right, next on the agenda. Oh, yes. So at the last meeting, was it the last meeting or was it the meeting before? I think it was, oh yeah, it was the last meeting. We reinstituted regular member status going forward. However, we didn't clarify that for the officers. It was just for the regular members. So we got into I think, an interesting question. So this is to discuss how we want to handle our officers being the regional and the kingdom officers and ensuring that they are maintaining their regular member status as well.
Can you repeat that? You broke up pretty bad there. My reception out here is awful.
Yeah, so when we voted on at the last meeting, we voted to reinstate regular member status, and that we changed it so instead of having to earn regular member status via your individual park, it's temporarily done through the kingdom. So any person can attend any kingdom event and it would count towards your regular status. We didn't reconcile that for officers. And so officers currently, their only requirement is to attend their monthly meetings. And so this is to rectify, I would like to rectify, including that the officers, kingdom officers and local officers also must meet the regular member requirements as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, this seems more administrative than anything else, just to make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah, there's no reason that any of our officers shouldn't be upholding the same things that our regular members need to. So
That said, I make a motion to make officers and officer candidates subject to regular membership to be eligible for office.
I second that.
Damn it, Ronan. That was my words.
Say- I'll third the crap out of that.
Sorry, I've got a clarifying question from Rollo. I'm just trying to figure that out.
Okay, my clarification, I just want to make sure I understand the motion. So we're going to require them to maintain their regular member status. If they lose their regular member status at any point, then they would be removed from office. Is that correct?
If they lost their regular member status prior to entering office, yes. Essentially, to enter office, they require it. I didn't talk about anything after that as far as the motion goes.
Okay, because the reason I asked is I thought that was part of the issue that we were looking at, was we didn't want to have the possibility of having an officer that was not a regular member, so was going on into the election. So right now it's only kingdom officers and local PMs could potentially go into this election and not be a regular member if they don't meet those attendance requirements. So I think that was one of the things that was being addressed here, is to encourage that we were looking for some sort of verbiage to maintain your officer status, not just to run for office. And that's why I had that question. Is it seemed like it sounds like some people have different views on what this means here.
And yes, so right now, when that was never modified, so you have to meet regular member requirements to right now to run for office. Yes, the issue is the requirements to stay in office.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we put in the verbiage that an officer must maintain their regular member status. I mean, it's the same way as there's so many absences. So it shouldn't be equivalated to this, but just like when we normally play, officers are allotted with so many absences before an all thing. It's much the same way that I think about this, where they need to maintain their regular member status. Otherwise, I mean, it's almost like being elected on false pretenses, I guess. You're expecting somebody to be active and they're not.
No, and I'm fine with that. I just want to make sure that's what's clear here. So for the regular member status is a lot easier to maintain than your officer your normal officer status, because you're allowed 6 absences within a well, you're really only allowed 5. That 6th one you're automatically removed, or 4 in a row. We're not saying that there's necessarily that piece in there. We're just saying that you need to have those 12 credits in the last 6 months. After the election, we go from requiring 6 credits to immediately after the election. Now it's 12 credits in the last 6 months. That was what we voted on in the last meeting. So if there's an officer that hasn't met that after the election, then they'd immediately be removed on that first day. And that's only gonna, like I said, it would only impact Kingdom officers and local PMs at the moment.
Based on my misunderstanding, I withdraw my motion.
Right, Corey. And yeah, normally it's harder to you wouldn't lose regular member status because you're right. You lose your office before you lose regular member status. And you know, right now, it's very difficult to lose your office position because we're not tracking officer attendance requirements other than the meetings. And even if you missed all 6 meetings for over the past 6 months, I mean, you'll be pulled out of office, but then the reign would be over anyhow. So. Oh, that's true. And then also, I guess you could do it in 4 months if you missed 4 meetings in a row.
Yep. So are we just looking for wordage or an agreement that we think this needs to happen? What are we looking for here?
So I'm looking for, right now I'm trying to find the wordage on how to propose this, but I mean, I think since right now, because we're not meeting regularly, we would need to, I think, temporarily modify that they must maintain regular member status, or they could lose their office. But yeah, as Jason said, the biggest problem is is at this point is this will affect the prime ministers and the kingdom officers right away, because everyone coming into office will have regular member status already.
I mean, we still have plenty of credit opportunities all around the kingdom before elections, right?
Yes, that is correct.
So, I mean, anybody who is failing to be a regular member at this moment likely has opportunity to become a regular member until then, right? Considering there's usually at least 4 credits available per week.
Correct.
No, I agree. I think another piece that we might address, since they're usually addressed together with the attendance, because your officer attendance or your attendance for park and your attendance for your officer meetings are usually together. It might be worth like putting in another piece of this, that you have to be at X amount of officer meetings, maybe a maximum of 2 officer meetings missed, to still encourage folks to show up to their officer meetings as well. Right now, with our current attendance requirements, you could attend 1 officer meeting as long as you planned it right, and skip the rest of them throughout the reign.
But why would anyone would skip a meeting unless they had like an absolutely pressing real life thing? I'm not sure.
I mean, let's see if I can make these hands do.
So, Rosdath, my thoughts on that question are thus: we voted recently to unfreeze the freeze, I guess, that we had as far as regular attendance goes.
Where?
So that Drasic, we can hear everything. I mean, okay, so we sought to undo that so that we could have regular attendance requirements and that sort of thing, since we are doing a lot online. I think that if we drop those requirements, we want people in office who are dedicated. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm getting a phone call.
One thing I'm wondering about is that for the prime ministers, it would affect them a lot, and if, as long as they have been putting in credits and stuff, they are facilitating and doing stuff, but they might be too busy, because I mean they are doing their job and stuff, but might not be able to attend meetings.
Are you talking about their officer meeting?
No, I'm talking about obtaining regular member attendance status, because I mean, if they're making it to their meetings and they are putting in credits, and I know that right now it is a little wonky with all the different things going on. If we should put that on them as well.
We absolutely should. We want people in office, whether local or kingdom, who are dedicated to playing, or rather, who are dedicated to holding that office. It's not an easy choice to run for it, and there is a certain amount of responsibility that goes for it, and that shouldn't include maintaining regular member status, especially considering there's more than more than a handful of opportunities per week to maintain that.
Arian, are you talking partially about the internet issues members of your park have?
Yes. Yep, that is part of it.
I don't think it's if we're going specifically with the PMs, which is what was brought up, I don't think Hazel has that issue, does she?
Well, I do know that she has had issues with being able to attend meetings on Discord, or at least when she's tried to attend the COC meetings in the past, it ends up not quite working out and she gets dropped.
Okay, yeah, I know she says she's not a fan of Discord, and that's probably why. She's usually at my meetings, and we only have one a month, so that's not a huge time commitment.
Oh, for sure. I just know that that she is very busy and hasn't had much of an opportunity to have much of an online presence. But she's an excellent PM and she still wants to do the job, so I really want to support that.
No, I agree, but I aren't you guys having those events online on like Facebook and stuff where you can like post things you're working on and stuff for credits?
Yeah, that we are.
Plenty of parks and Kingdom Wide were using asynchronous credit opportunities. Our credit opportunities aren't only on Discord. So if people are capable of communicating with us on Facebook, they are probably capable of grabbing those credits too.
Indeed, and you're right. We do want to have officers that are taking an active part even in these tough times.
I agree with Dult. If the kingdom is currently working digitally, officers should have the ability to function in digital space. I know that Discord is a little difficult in some of our more rural areas, but still maintaining a presence on our other less bandwidth intensive areas is, I would think, would be pretty important.
Because we're basically revolving around our own personal jobs, what about the possibility of PMs now have to go out and collect credits and put them in from different sources? What if they did a credit report that they gave to the KPM and that would earn them a credit week showing that they did their job? Something along the line.
Rolo, don't we run into the issue if we do that of what actually qualifies for credits as far as the publicly posted, the open attendance required, things like that?
I mean, I don't know that I'd necessarily be against the idea of having using that as an opportunity to collect attendance for an officer, having them attend their meeting or whatever. But yeah, it's the same thing. Is it need to be a public meeting that other folks could attend as well, right? So if we have a necessity for a private meeting, then it might not necessarily be something that we'd want to give a credit for.
Fair enough.
Uh, Again, I am 100% in favor of all our officers needing to have their regular membership status. We can definitely have prime ministers warn them if they're looking like they're going to drop out of regular membership status. Because again, it is a weird time right now. So, allowing some flexibility and some grace is wonderful. But we definitely want our officers to have a presence.
I think a warning and a heads up before just get yeah, removed from office would be a great idea, Boots. Though who would regulate that?
I believe that would be a KPM thing, right? Or their local home officer?
Yeah, attendance would be part of the chancellor's counselor.
So here we go. Abram is saying that it's pretty classist to ask people to maintain a presence online. I'm not necessarily sure that I agree with that. I think that asking everybody to use Discord might be an issue, again, considering that we do have known officers that we work with that aren't able to use Discord because of their geographical location or their economic situation, and that's fine. That's completely, totally understandable. That being said, we do have a lot of asynchronous opportunities on Facebook, and there again, there's no reason that officers can't have a presence. Like, why are I guess I'm not quite sure why this is an issue. Another concern that I think about when I think about this sort of thing is, obviously this isn't the way that anybody wants to play AmCard. And I've heard more than a few people that are holding office say that it's difficult for them to want to do this right now because this isn't the way they want to do this. And, as such, it's been a little bit of a struggle to get to kind of nudge people forward. Like, hey, you need to be working with your party, you need to be working with your kingdom, that sort of thing. And I don't fault anybody for thinking that, but I think that the type of flexibility that's going to be required in our the kind of the system that we have going right now, that at this point we've been in it for a long time, and anybody that stepped into office at this point kind of knows what it entails. I think that's important.
Ronan, I know you've had issues being way out in the sticks. How have you or some of your other members handled the remote factors? Or is there a solution that you've used to address issues like that to keep your members active and able to maintain membership?
We have these kind of like bi-weekly credit grabs where I'll do one for a 2-week stretch and then Sticks will do one for a 2-week stretch, where if you have a chance within a 2-week period to put forth either what we ask of you or just to tell us a little mini story of what's going on, it's a chance to earn a credit. That way, for people who are in the sticks like I was, maybe 1 to 2 times a week you'd make it to Fairbanks, make it to an internet source if you didn't have internet at your home. And that would give them an opportunity to come in, see what's going on, and a chance to put something down. Even just like a weekly open credit would help with that.
Yeah, and Abram, the asynchronous options aren't going away. I mean, I have my things that are going up on the Kingdom page. As Ronan said, he's got stuff going, and anyone from any park can go to any one of these. I mean, if you're Ice Fire Bay, you can use Astral Winds. If you're Frozen Coast, you can use Ravenstones. I mean, it all counts toward regular member status at this point, because prior, in order to get regular member status, you had to attend a park, which usually was your home park, unless you happen to go back and forth between like Loop and Moon, Ravenstone, or Frozen Coast, Icefire Bay. But we opened it up so like any credit whatsoever from the kingdom counts towards your regular member status.
Yeah, so there are a lot of good opportunities for sure. And you're
Huh.
right, would be good for um, these officers to be encouraging the populace, if nothing else, by attending some of these quick and easy things to show support and let people know what they've been up to and doing.
So I'm very open and flexible on how to get credits. And if someone, I mean, you know, down the line goes, hey, can I do this to do a credit? Most likely we'll say yes. So, I mean, those options are always there. I'm more than willing. I mean, we're all willing to work with everyone that wants to put forth the effort. We're willing to work with you and make it happen. You know, Gideon, you might be onto something.
I mean, you can buy me a 6-pack and I'll offer credits. Has to be a root beer, though. I don't drink. So we normally do have a calendar. I believe that it's up to the regents to keep an eye on that. It's been a little hectic and hard to keep an eye on that with as much stuff is going on literally everywhere. But I think it would be a good idea, maybe not just to have the Northreach wide calendar, but maybe take a look at local parks, trying to put out like a hey, this is what our weekly schedule looks like. I think we as monarchs should be able to help out with that, just so it's a little bit easier accessible for our members looking for those asynchronous credits or to know when to hop onto Discord.
Well, I think we were talking about that we need folks to start when they're running events to send them to the regents so they can get them added to the calendar too.
Absolutely, but more information in different areas never is harmful. That being said, back onto the track of what we think our requirements should be. Since we've been talking about this for a while, how do we want to word if we even want the officers to have to maintain regular membership status?
If you'll give me 2 minutes, I'm doing my typey type thingy.
So this pause in the BoD meeting is brought to you by you not all getting cake.
I actually have wings on the way because I don't know if you heard, Your Majesty, but I had a terrible day, so my mother is ordering me wings. I got to play nitty-gritty detective and figure out who stole our phone and chase them all around Anchorage until they returned it because I scared them. It was pretty good.
There will be cake at Wolf's Cry if we have Wolf's Cry.
I volunteer my pastry chef services to make a multi-tiered celebration cake. I might make it big enough for Rolo to pop out of. We'll see. Rolo, are you willing to pop out of a cake?
That's going to be a big cake.
I mean, I think the biggest I've ever made served 300. So
We're waiting for Gwen. We're waiting for Rain to pull out.
Legalese.
Yeah, my pocket lawyer is working.
For the record, it does not constitute legal advice. Working merely as a scrivener on this one.
My pocket writer.
Oh no, now I want a pie. Thanks, kids!
Oh, by the way, Cracking, you have to budget a cake, sorry. I mean, heck, Abram, with you doing that tabletop stream that you and Stefan did, and just give enough notice, there you go.
Yep, that's actually the program that we're running DC Dungeons in.
Let's just turn those 10 to 2 a.m. Among Us games into credit opportunities, Abram.
Abram wants an excuse to play 40K on stream.
Okay, Rain, I think it's been 2 minutes and I'm running out of things to talk about.
Almost done. I think I got that.
But that's how some of the credits, come from. Like, oh, hey, I want to play this. Let's turn it into a thing. And suddenly it's a thing. You're getting credits and woo! Okie dokie.
All right, we've got the legalese.
There's my attempt for everyone to read.
Okay. Does any... Oh, sorry, my dogs have decided to go crazy. Does anyone have any thing to say against or for what Rain has posted?
No, I think that's perfect. I'd acquiring a minimum of 1 credit per 2-week period, whether in Discord or one of the Facebook opportunities or whatever like that. If that's too much for somebody, they shouldn't be in office. So that's perfect to me.
And the overall purpose with setting the low bar like that is because I am understanding of people that are way out or don't have normal access to internet. So hopefully 1 credit during a 2-week period through the asynchronous postings on Facebook, through our Discord chats, will hopefully open up enough opportunity for people to attend and maintain that regular member status as an officer.
I'm good with voting on that.
Same.
Okie dokie. I will make a motion to adapt Rain's statement as the current, that the requirements for officers to retain that, to maintain regular membership status.
I'll second the motion.
Alrighty then, top to bottom. Astrowin,
Yay.
Ravenstone. If he's still around, did he just disconnect?
He is back behind the wire right now, he said.
Okay, he still is. All right. So he will, I believe, abstain. Now I lost track. Lupin Moon.
Oh, heck yeah.
Frozen Coast.
Yes.
Ice Fire Bay.
Yes.
KPM.
Yes.
And I am a yes as well. Alrighty then. It is done. I make a motion to close the BoD meeting.
Second.
Astral wins.
Yes.
Ravenstone will abstain. Lupin Moon.
Sure.
Frozen Coast.
Yes.
Ice Fire Bay.
Yes.
KPM.
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. The BoD meeting is adjourned at 7:50 p.m. Give me a quick hot second and I will flip my hat around. Alrighty then, it is still 7:50 p.m. and I am now calling the CoC meeting to order. Did Ad show up?
He's here.
Present.
Well, hi, Ad. All right, is everyone else still here? Astro Winds, did you stay around?
Yep, I'm still here.
I'm assuming Dracic's still gone. Lupin Moon, are you still here?
Ish. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I am.
Frozen Coast?
Yes, ma'am.
Ice Fire Bay?
Yes.
And we already went over DLC. Okay, and I'm still here. Great, excellent. Welcome to the CoC meeting. We will kick off with the ambassador report. Our lovely Austriana, can you fill us in what's going on?
Okay, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, hey, shh, I'm in a meeting. Okay. So our currently we have 3 things that we have been doing nationally that we probably should take note of. One is that our trademark lawsuit has completed, and so we now own the name Amped Guard again legally. And with that, we incurred about almost $100,000 worth of bills from that, of which most has been paid or waived, and so the remaining balance is a little over $20,000. And so there is a motion from one of the members of one of the kingdoms to have that amount continue as normal for this year. Oh my gosh, why? Right now. Have an amount continue for right now. until next year, and then changing the amount that we pay to AI. And that meeting hasn't been scheduled yet, and we're looking at a couple of options for that meeting. So I'll give folks an idea when that happens. The other big thing that happened is that Northreach's investigation has closed, and they found no fault in what the officers at the time did with the information that they have. Now, there was a call for a meeting to discuss the findings and all of that, and so the AIBOD is planning on redacting anything that needs to be redacted, and then sharing that information with us later, and anything that we can share with you guys, we will. And so those are the big things so far.
That's exciting.
Excellent. Thank you, Astriana. So yeah, I have not paid AI yet, and so I am working on that piece, and so we can take care of our payment for the year, and we'll do that soon. Next on my agenda is our lovely COVID update. Yep, still there, still horrible. I've got more to kind of talk about later, but we were starting to trend down, but unfortunately it shot right back up again. So yeah, we hopefully we'll start meeting again this spring. We'll see what the day brings, but there is a vaccine now officially. They started giving it in Europe. I think it was like yesterday/today. I know me personally with my work, I had filled out my requirements, and so I hopefully will be getting it by the end of the year. I was brought up in a discussion earlier, are we going to require vaccines to come back to AmpGuard? And that answer is no. I can't force anyone to take a vaccine. It's same with employers. I mean, they can't force you to take a vaccine either. But what will probably happen though is once we open back up for a while there, we will still require masks, and then we'll just play it by ear based on the CDC guidelines. So essentially it's no, we couldn't. No.
So we shouldn't.
Okay, yeah, we shouldn't, you goblin.
Yeah. For reference, I actually cannot take the vaccine. The COVID vaccine is a live vaccine, and I have an autoimmune disease that would make that so I could no longer participate, which would make me very sad.
So yeah, just continue to stay safe and healthy, everyone. And it seems like it's difficult to do these days, but I encourage you to, I know Anchorage is in a hunker down mode again, so hopefully it'll happen and it'll calm down. But yeah, I'm not holding my breath anytime soon. Next is month of the crown / elections. If you hadn't noticed, LOIs were open at the end of November, I believe 11/29. So get your LOIs in if you would like to run for an office. There's several positions open throughout all of the parks. If you have an interest and you're like, well, should I, shouldn't I? Please reach out to your current officers. I'm sure they would love to fill you in on what they're doing. And I know, as we were talking about earlier, things look slightly different, but we certainly still need our officers, and we would love to have you if you have an inkling of running. Is there? I'm going to back up. Long-term plan, if it doesn't calm down, mass chaos and panic at this point. The long-term plan is we're just going to keep following CDC guidelines, as Boot said. Well, if we can safely open up, we will. But again, it's going to take a lot of angles. We got lucky that we got what we could back in over the summer. So I'm hoping once it opens, it gets nice enough where people can start going outside again, we can start looking at coming back up. But it is just absolutely not feasible indoors. Rolla, did you have anything to say about month of the crown or elections?
No, I think you covered it.
Awesome. All right, next on my list is crown quals. Oh, I'm going to put Corin on the spot. Do you have anything to say about crown quals, Corin?
Nothing other than what has already been posted. I can go over that right quick. So crown quals will be the second weekend of January. That's the 9th and 10th. Being online crown quals, we will have Saturday and Sunday as days that we'll be going over judging. Entries will be due by 4 a.m. on Saturday the 9th. Literature entries longer than one page will be due by 4 a.m. on Wednesday, January 6th. Yeah, that's all I've got at the moment.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. So yeah, if you're planning on running for the normal offices that require crown quals, start working on them. Monarchs and regents need to enter 3. Champions and heir apparent need to enter 2. And you still got plenty of time. It's what, less than a month? About a month?
Yeah, about a month.
I don't see Deli. He promised me he would be here this evening to talk about Dragon Master. Well, I guess we will not talk about Dragon Master.
Everybody tag Deli. Can we offer credit if everybody tags Deli?
Good Lord, the poor man's probably. Okay. Well, while you're all spamming the bejesus out of Delhi, we can drop down to DC. Boot, or I don't know if Mouse is on. Do you guys have a DC update?
Hi. I don't. Rain, is Mouse there?
I will go give her a yell.
I will just blather real quick. It's nothing that she doesn't know. We are still working on DC pretty hard. We're having there's a little bit of a hiccup right now. Just making sure that everything is able to run smoothly. We're keeping an eye on how soon we want players to register. We are building maps in Tabletop Simulator and some other places. It's moving along like a normal large D&D campaign. We're still toying with the idea of maybe possibly seeing about some per order swag, but that's still a little up in the air right now. We're not sure if we want to spend the money on it, but DC is still happening. It's just going to be a lot of tabletop RPG fun. We will have signups for those closer to the event.
Mouse is here as well.
Favorite
Hi.
Mouse.
I missed most of what you said, Boot, but I'm sure you got it pretty well covered.
Yep, just
essentially, we've got a Discord server that has breakout rooms. We're going to have signups 2 weeks before the event that close a week before the event, so we can do breakout rooms and divide stuff up by DM. We'll have some classes on different things, like we'll do an RP 101 and possibly 102 class, and maybe a couple other fun things that we're still waiting to hear back from possible presenters.
Yes, I can actually confirm one of our presenters, if that's all right with you, the one that we have from out of state. Is that all right?
Yes, you can confirm it finally. Yes, please do. Everyone's going to love this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. One of the things about roleplay is that it's really interesting to try to get into a character. The other people that really have to learn a lot about characters and really get into them are actors. And we are fortunate enough that a rather high-profile voice actress, Miss Kira Buckland, who's been featured in things like Final Fantasy VII, the remake, things like Nier Automata, all sorts of anime that you watch, maybe some video games, is willing to do a panel as far as getting into character when you need to step into another skin.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, she's
going to be fantastic. We're all very excited.
Yeah, she's
I'm
actually
so glad you're finally.
I know, right? She's actually attended Northreach a couple of times. So
Oh, I'm so excited you're able to confirm that. Good. I'm glad we heard back from her. So we're talking about a couple other panels, but that's going to be like our big pseudo celebrity guest speaker coming in to talk about RP. And I think it's going to be really awesome.
Very nice. Excellent. Thank you, ladies. All right. Well, I'm giving all hope up that Deli is actually going to show up. I know I was speaking with him the other day. He is planning on still running a Dragon Master. We discussed some safety issues that I had with it, so I believe we've come to an agreement. So hopefully he'll be posting some information soon to those of you guys who want to enter Dragon Master. And I did mention the giant mammoth, Gwen. All right, next on my list is just a reminder that my mid-reign is coming up. So if you have any award recommendations for myself kingdom-wide, or if you have some local recommendations for your monarchs, get those in. That there should be a lot of role-playing stuff. I think some dragons that might need to go out. So get them in.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, so Grand Librarian moment, Your Majesty. I am so impressed by the amount of people who have reached out and made character profiles and role played on different stuff. People I would never expect to have that elaborate of a profile. All of you have blown me out of the water. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of it. Please keep an eye out for more posts and the opportunity to do so.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe if we're lucky enough, we'll get a profile for Her Majesty too.
Maybe. Okay, next on my list is my musings, and so I'm going to go into a mom moment for a second, but while I'm doing that, if you all have questions or concerns, now is the time to start thinking of while you listen to me babble a little bit. So this is my musings for this time around. So most of you, all of you should know that I'm a nurse. And so yesterday morning I arrived to work and I sat down at my desk and I had one of those, I'm going to call, well, normally I would call it my oh crap moment, but I'm going to call it my oh crap moment. I had just recently learned that I am now in what I refer to as crisis staffing mode for my department. I am down 4 nurses, which is half of my staff, which is not even fully staffed at the moment. It was kind of one of these moments that it was one of these, is this it? Is this where the tipping point where the healthcare system is officially overwhelmed? I was looking at, I have patients that are going to the emergency room that are being admitted that are sitting in the ED still because there's no rooms. I'm reading notes that doctors are saying, can we do this while they head to their room? Because I need the emergency room bed. I mean, our Providence is full. And if you asked me 8 months ago, I wouldn't have thought we've ever gotten here. I thought we were going to continue along the great path we were doing. Unfortunately, it is completely different than what I thought it was over the summer. And like I said, I have half my staff is out. I've got patients dying. I have patients being admitted who don't have rooms and they're in the ED. I have my nurses are out and I'm just sitting there. I have officially myself has officially hit this point where I am overwhelmed. And I'm not saying I'm overwhelmed with all of you, but I am just overwhelmed. This is just one of these moments. And when I said this to my supervisor and my former supervisor, they were like, "Yeah, we're there. We're at that healthcare. Our healthcare system is overwhelmed moment." Like I said, I'm tired. I have actually broken down now just how overwhelmed this whole thing is. I didn't want to be here. I know this is where you guys don't want to be. we don't get to play our wacky bats. We don't get to hang out with our friends. We're in the middle of the holidays. We can't hang out with our family. And it's tough. The tensions are high. I get that. We're in uncharted territory. But I do want to take this moment to remind everyone that everyone's emotions are running high, not just yours, but your friends and your neighbors and your coworkers and etc. We don't know what we're each other's going through. Some of us have these huge emotional burdens. Some of us are struggling to make ends meet. Some of us are struggling to stay healthy. Just with that, I'm asking everyone to take a pause, take a deep breath, especially when you're in that in the moment, in that heat moment. Kind of a think before you speak moment. Like I asked at the beginning of the rain, I asked everyone to be kind, and I'm still stressing that. Please be kind to each other. Please remember we're all friends, and we will get through this. But just it's like I said, uncharted territory. Please support each other if they need it. We're not through these woods yet. It should pass. But in the meantime, I'm asking everyone to be kind, rewind, support each other, be decent to each other, wear your masks, don't be a dick, and wash your damn hands. Mom moment ended. Anyone got any questions that are burning desires right now?
Are we allowed to lick doorknobs yet?
No.
Okay, just checking.
And if people are having problems, just remember we're all in this together. Reach out to friends or, your top 5 if you're having a bad day and just need someone to talk to. We're all here, we're going to get through this and we're going to be fighting again eventually.
Yeah, admittedly, I've had to turn to other physical outlets to really have that sort of physical activity that goes on that lets that frustration out. So it's really nice to hear you say that. It's nice to get back on track and remind me, wacky bats will return, and you're not always going to have to lift.
Alrighty, with the sudden silence and lack of typing, I am going. Karen, seriously? I'm going to call this meeting to close at 8:10 p.m. There is your sign-in sheet. If you have not signed in, please sign in. I will give you all a credit for this evening. Thank you all so very much for attending, and we will see you in 2 weeks. We will have a town hall meeting at 5:30, followed by the CoC BoD meeting at 7 o'clock. We're going to kind of hopefully have fun and maybe hopefully spread some Christmas